Hey, everyone. What's up? Imagine this, you're digging through your loose change to grab a soda or maybe just to clean out that coin jar that's been collecting dust for years. Suddenly, you spot a penny that looks a little different. Could it be treasure hiding in plain sight? Today, we're talking about the 1961 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, the one with the little D under the year. Could this humble penny be your ticket to a new flat-screen TV? Or even, an early retirement? Let's dive in and find out. Okay, quick history lesson, don't zone out. The D stands for Denver, where these pennies were minted back in 1961. This was peak baby boom era, a time when gas cost 27 cents a gallon, and Elvis was rocking the charts. These pennies were minted by the billions, literally. But not all pennies are created equal. Some are worth exactly 1 cent, while others are worth a lot more to collectors. Now, let's talk value. Most 1961 D pennies you find in pocket change today are worth, well, a penny. Shocker. But, there are exceptions. Condition is king, folks. If your penny is what's called mint state, meaning it looks like it just rolled off the press, it could fetch anywhere from 50 cents to a whopping $20. That's a solid upgrade from a soda to a pizza. And then there are the rare ones, like the double die variety. This happens when the coin design is accidentally struck twice, leaving a doubled image on the lettering or date. These bad boys can sell for hundreds. I once saw a double die 1961 D penny on eBay for $300. Can you believe that? That's the price of an old beater car in 1961. But hold up, don't go quitting your day job just yet. Most of us aren't walking around with a pristine, double-die penny in our pockets. Here's a quick hack, grab a magnifying glass and check your penny under good lighting. Look for strong luster, sharp details, and, this is important, no scratches or dents. A beat-up penny? Sorry, it's headed back to the change jar. Funny story, when I first started collecting, I thought I found a rare error penny. I was over the moon. Turns out, I just had chocolate smudged on the coin. Lesson learned, clean hands, clean coins, clean mind. Here's the bottom line, condition and rarity are everything. A regular, circulated 1961 D penny is worth 1 cent. But if you've got one in pristine condition or with an error, that's where the money's at. So, is your 1961 D Lincoln penny worth a fortune? Maybe, maybe not. But now you know what to look for, and knowledge is power, right? If you're as fascinated by these tiny treasures as I am, don't stop here. Dig through your change, check your old piggy banks, and start your collection. Who knows what hidden gems you might find? Do you know that the humble penny sitting in your piggy bank could actually be worth a small fortune? That's right, today we're talking about the 1969 D Lincoln penny, and you won't believe how much some of these babies can go for. Stick around, because I'm not only going to spill the tea on this coin's hidden value, but I'll also share a personal story of how a seemingly boring penny made me do a double take and nearly fall out of my chair. Oh, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I promise you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Let's start with the basics, the 1969 D penny. It's got good old Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and a little D below the year. That D stands for the Denver Mint, which is where this coin was produced. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny. But hear me out, this isn't just a penny. See, 1969 was an interesting year for coins. It was a time when manufacturing quirks were rampant. Translation: some coins came out, let's say, a little special. These errors can include double dies, off-centering, or other minting mistakes, and collectors go absolutely bananas for them. Now, let's talk value. Your average 1969 D penny in circulated condition, aka, one that's been rattling around in people's pockets for decades, is probably worth, well, a penny. maybe a few cents to a collector. But, if you've got one in great condition or with an error, it's a whole different ball game. A pristine, mint-state penny can fetch anywhere from $5 to $25. And if you've got an error coin, like a double die obverse, we're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Quick pause for a personal story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, which, by the way, looked like a coin tornado hit it, and I came across a 1969 penny. I almost tossed it into my meh pile, but something told me to take a closer look. Sure enough, there was a faint doubling on the lettering. My heart did a little tap dance. Long story short, I took it to a dealer, and, boom, $400 in my pocket. Moral of the story: never underestimate a dusty penny. Now, back to business. To figure out if you've struck gold, or copper, in this case, here's what you should do: grab a magnifying glass or loupe and inspect the date and lettering for doubling. Look for signs of wear and tear. A shiny, unblemished penny is worth more. If you think you've got something special, take it to a professional coin grader or dealer. Don't rely on your neighbor Dave's opinion just because he once collected quarters in high school. Storing your coins properly is crucial. No one wants to find a promising penny only to discover it's corroded. Keep them in a cool, dry place, ideally in a protective holder. So, the next time you're sifting through your loose change, don't just glance over those pennies. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. And if you do find a 1969 penny that makes your heart skip a beat, let me know in the comments. Would you believe me if I told you this tiny, unassuming penny could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars? No, I'm not joking, and no, this isn't a scam where I try to sell you a dream. Today, we're talking about the 1970 Lincoln penny, a coin that might just turn your piggy bank into a treasure chest, because I'll tell you exactly why this coin is special, how to spot the valuable ones, and how much they're actually selling for today. Oh, and trust me, you're going to want to check your couch cushions after this. First up, what's the big deal about the 1970 Lincoln penny? It's a copper coin minted in Denver, and like most pennies, it's, well, mostly forgotten in the bottom of a jar. But what sets some of these pennies apart is a little thing called the small date variety. Now, if you're not a coin nerd, first of all, welcome, I'm glad you're here. This just means the date on the coin is smaller and slightly different than the usual version. And it's these little quirks that coin collectors go absolutely bonkers for. Here's where it gets interesting. If you have one of these small date pennies, especially in pristine condition, they can be worth anywhere from $100 to over $3,000. Yep, you heard that right. A penny turning into $3,000 is like finding out your old Tamagotchi is now worth a Tesla. It's wild. But how do you know if you've got the small date version? It's kind of like playing Spot the Difference, but with actual money on the line. Look at the 9 in the date. On the small date variety, the top of the 9 is level with the 7 next to it. It's subtle, like when your dog steals your sock and pretends it wasn't them. But once you spot it, you'll know. Now, condition matters big time. If your penny looks like it's been chewed on by a squirrel, it's not going to fetch much. Coins graded as MS-65 or higher, basically, ones that look like they just rolled off the mint, are the big money makers. For context, MS-65 means the coin is in mint condition with only minor imperfections. So, if you've got a shiny one, don't toss it into the Coinstar just yet. Quick story time: I was rummaging through an old coffee can of coins my grandma gave me years ago. Honestly, I thought I'd find maybe $20 worth of spare change, but I decided to check a few pennies just for fun. Lo and behold, there it was, a 1970 small date penny staring back at me like it had been waiting for this moment its whole life. Long story short, I sold it for $850 at auction. Grandma got a nice lunch, and I got a great story to tell. Now, let's talk current market value. As of today, these pennies are still hot commodities. If you've got a small date variety in great condition, collectors are shelling out anywhere from $100 for decent ones to over $3,000 for top-tier specimens. Pro tip: if you think you have one, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. It's worth the investment if your coin turns out to be a jackpot. So, there you have it, the 1970 D Lincoln penny might just be the most valuable penny you'll ever find in your pocket change. Who knew something so small could pack such a financial punch? You're digging through your couch cushions, hunting for the remote, and instead, you pull out a penny. But not just any penny, a 1976 D Lincoln penny. Could this little guy be your ticket to riches? Or is it just another coin for the Coinstar machine? Today, we're diving into the world of the 1976 D Lincoln penny, its value, what makes it special, and, most importantly, how you can find out if you've got a small fortune hiding in your pocket change. Stick around because I've got a funny story about how one of these pennies almost caused a family feud at my last Thanksgiving dinner. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. First off, what's the deal with the 1976 D Lincoln penny? The D stands for Denver, where this coin was minted. In 1976, the Denver Mint produced a whopping 4.2 billion of these copper coins. Yep, billion with a B. So, on the surface, it seems like they're as common as cat videos on the internet, but here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies have quirks, and in the coin world, quirks mean money. Look out for errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or that magical, red, uncirculated shine. These tiny imperfections can transform a humble penny into a collector's dream. For example, a pristine 1976 D penny with a gorgeous red luster recently sold for over $300 at auction. And if you've got a rare error coin, you could be looking at $500 or more. Not bad for a penny, right? Now, let's talk about grading. Coin grading is like the SAT for your penny, except there are no prep classes. A high-grade 1976 D penny, graded MS 65 or better, is what collectors go crazy for. The cleaner, shinier, and less worn your penny is, the better its chances. If it's got a lot of nicks and scratches, sorry, but it might just be worth, well, a penny. Here's a quick tip: if you're not sure about your penny's condition, grab a magnifying glass and inspect it like Sherlock Holmes. Check for sharp details on Lincoln's profile and the lettering. Also, flip it over. How crisp is the Lincoln Memorial? If you're seeing blurrier details than my vision before coffee, you might not be holding a jackpot. Okay, story time. Last Thanksgiving, my cousin pulled out a jar of coins he'd been saving since the 90s. I kid you not, we all sat around the table inspecting them like we were on Antiques Roadshow. Then, someone spotted a shiny 1976 D penny. My uncle swore it was worth a fortune. My cousin said, "Nah, it's just lucky." Long story short, Google came to the rescue. Turns out, it was in decent condition but not rare enough to retire on. Still, my cousin kept it, saying, "This penny's now a family heirloom." Moral of the story: even if your penny isn't worth big bucks, it can still be priceless in laughs and memories. So, there you have it, the 1976 D Lincoln penny could be worth more than you think, but it's all about condition and rarity. Next time you get change, don't just shove it into a jar. Give those coins a closer look, you might just find a hidden gem. Who's been holding onto a jar of pennies since, forever? Quick question: what if I told you that one of those dusty 1982 pennies could actually be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars? You'd probably check your couch cushions, right? Well, stick around because today, we're diving deep into the 1982 D Lincoln penny. We'll uncover what makes it so special and, most importantly, how much it's worth right now. Spoiler alert, it's not just a penny anymore. Before you start flipping over every coin in your change jar, let's break it down. The 1982 penny is a bit of a big deal in the coin world. Why? It's all about a little thing called the transition year. Cue dramatic music. In 1982, the US Mint switched from copper pennies to zinc ones, but here's the kicker, they didn't do it all at once. So, some pennies were still made of copper, and others were zinc-coated. This is where things get interesting. The copper ones weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. Don't worry, you don't need a science degree for this. Just a little kitchen scale will do the trick. Now, let's talk about the D mint mark. That D stands for Denver, where this particular batch of pennies was minted. What makes the 1982 D small date copper penny so valuable is that it's incredibly rare. How rare? Think winning the lottery while getting struck by lightning, rare. Only a handful have been found. That's why collectors will pay big bucks for it. And by big bucks, I mean up to $18,000. Yes, you heard me right, $18,000 for a penny. But wait, don't just start spending that new penny fortune yet. First, you'll need to identify what you have. If your penny has the D mint mark and it's a small date copper version, congrats. You're in the money. The best way to verify? Weigh it and double-check with a magnifying glass to spot that small date. Oh, and PSA, please don't use your teeth to check the metal. Your dentist will thank you. Now, what about the current market value? If you're lucky enough to have this rare coin, collectors are paying between $10,000 and $18,000 for it. Even some of the less rare varieties, like a regular 1982 D zinc penny in mint condition, can fetch a decent price, about $5 to $15. Not retirement money, but hey, it'll cover your next coffee run. Okay, story time. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawer, you know, the one where you toss random receipts, buttons, and yes, coins. I came across a 1982 penny and got all excited. I weighed it, checked the date, and, drumroll, it was zinc. Classic, right? But hey, now I know what to look for, and so do you. Alright, treasure hunters, it's time to dig into those coin jars, junk drawers, and piggy banks. You never know, your next penny could be a jackpot in disguise. And if you found today's video helpful, or just enjoyed my epic penny fail, smash that like button and hit subscribe. We've got more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. Have you ever flipped over a penny, spotted a little something weird, and thought, wait, could this be my ticket to early retirement? If you've got a 1987 penny without a mint mark, sit tight. We're about to dive into whether it's worth thousands, or just, well, 1 cent. Not all shiny things are gold, but sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. Speaking of surprises, let me tell you about the time I almost sold a rare penny for, wait for it, 25 cents. Flushed face, stick around for that story and tips to avoid my rookie mistake. Mint marks are tiny letters on coins that tell you where they were made. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But if there's no mint mark on your 1987 Lincoln penny, don't panic. That just means it was made in Philadelphia. Fun fact, Philly didn't bother with mint marks on pennies for most of its history, like someone who shows up to a fancy dinner party in sweatpants. Hate to break it to you, but a 1987 penny without a mint mark isn't rare. It's as common as finding a random sock under your couch. However, condition is the real MVP here. If your penny looks like it just rolled out of the mint factory, shiny, no scratches, crisp details, then we're talking about a potential jump in value. In average circulated condition, your 1987 no mint mark penny is worth, drumroll please, 1 cent. But if you've got one in mint state, especially a grade of MS 65 or higher, you could pocket anywhere between $5 and $20. Not exactly millionaire money, but hey, a few bucks for a penny isn't bad. Here's the kicker, some 1987 pennies have errors like double dies or off-center strikes. These mistakes can crank the value way up, think $50, $100, or even more. So grab a magnifying glass and channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. Now, about that time I nearly sold a rare coin for pocket change. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old jar of coins, you know, the one we all have that's 90% pennies and 10% buttons. I found a penny that looked a little different and thought, whatever, and almost gave it away to a vending machine. Later, I realized it was a wheat penny from 1914 worth $200. Face screaming in fear. Moral of the story, check your change, folks. It could literally pay off. So, what did we learn today? That 1987 no-mint mark pennies are common but can still be valuable if they're in top-notch condition or have unique errors. And remember, every coin tells a story. It just might take a little research to crack the code. If you found this video helpful or just mildly entertaining, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more coin tips, fun stories, and ways to turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knows? Your next penny find might just be priceless. Ever wonder if that jar of pennies sitting in the back of your closet could actually be hiding a treasure? Today, we're diving into the mysterious, and possibly lucrative, world of the 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Could your humble copper coin be worth more than its 1 cent face value? Stick around, you're about to find out. Okay, let's set the scene. You're rummaging through your couch cushions, looking for enough change to buy a vending machine snack. Amid the lint and unidentifiable crumbs, you spotted a 2008 penny. Nothing special, right? Wrong. What if I told you that penny could be worth hundreds of dollars? Yep, you heard me. Suddenly, that couch treasure hunt got a whole lot more interesting. So, how do you figure out if your penny is just a penny or a mini goldmine? Let's break it down. First things first, what's a no-mint mark penny, and why should you care? Most U.S. coins have a tiny letter on them to show where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But if you see a penny without a mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. Back in 2008, the Philly Mint cranked out billions of these coins. So, they're not rare, but hold on. Don't roll that penny into your Coinstar just yet. The real money is in the condition of the coin. Collectors drool over pennies that look fresh out of the mint. If your 2008 no-mint mark penny is shiny, scratch-free, and practically glows in the dark, okay, maybe not that last one, it might be considered a MS-65 or higher grade. That's numismatic speak for really, really nice. A top-notch 2008 penny can sell for $15 to $25. Not bad for something you probably thought was only good for parking meters. But wait, there's more. Super rare, flawless specimens can go for $100 or even higher at auction. Imagine explaining that to your skeptical friend. Yeah, I'm rich now, thanks to my penny collection. Now, here's where it gets juicy: error coins. These are the quirks and misprints that make a coin stand out. Think doubled letters, off-center strikes, or die cracks. In 2008, there were some funky errors reported on pennies. If you've got a coin with one of these oddities, you could be sitting on a jackpot. Some error coins have sold for hundreds of dollars. Time to bust out your magnifying glass and channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. Speaking of treasure hunts, let me tell you about the time I found a 2008 penny with a minor die crack. I just finished paying for gas, you know, back when $20 actually filled the tank, and got some change. I noticed this one penny had a weird line across Lincoln's face. Turns out, it was an error coin. I sold it on eBay for $40. Not retirement money, but hey, it covered a fancy dinner. Moral of the story, always check your change. You never know what's lurking in there. Alright, let's sum it up. The 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might not make you a millionaire, but it could surprise you. Check for errors, keep an eye on the condition, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a hidden gem. So, what are you waiting for? Grab that dusty jar of coins and start your treasure hunt today. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin tips, tricks, and tales of turning pocket change into payday. And hey, Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny. I'd love to hear your story. Happy hunting!